Pocket Now's iPhone 6 review is up, which means now it's time for comparisons. You'll see Apple's latest put up against the LG G3 and HTC One M8 in Jaime Rivera's face-offs coming later in the week. But first, it's time to put the new iPhone up against the other new iPhone. I'm Michael Fisher with Pocket Now, and this is iPhone 6 versus iPhone 6 Plus. Look at the hardware of the iPhone 6. Now, look at the iPhone 6 Plus. You've heard it said before, and you're about to hear it again. It's the exact same thing at different sizes. If you stuck a straw into the iPhone 6 and blew as hard as you could, and we all lived in a kooky cartoon world, you'd end up with the 6 Plus. For our full impressions on this larger iPhone, check out Taylor Martin's video review. For my part, I'll say that the iPhone 6 feels like a natural extension of the iPhone family, while the 6 Plus feels a little like it's trying too hard to fit in with the supersized Androids that prompted its existence. From one-handed usability to pocketability, the iPhone 6 works better for me. But those for whom two-handed smartphone use isn't a problem have other factors to consider. Factors like how iOS 8 works on the 5.5-inch display relative to the 4.7-inch panel on the smaller phone. Scaling problems in apps are more apparent on the iPhone 6 Plus, with text often pixelized or just off. Like many of its large-screened competitors, iOS also fails to properly leverage the 6 Plus's added screen size. There's no persistent number row on the Plus's keyboard. And there's also no dual-window multitasking, as on Samsung and LG phones, no Snap, as on Microsoft tablets. But then again, most of those features are just as absent on Apple's tablets, which people continue to buy in droves. So if your goal in picking up an iPhone 6 Plus is to replace a tablet, there are features here that the iPhone 6 doesn't have, like a landscape-oriented springboard and tablet-style panels that use screen space a little more efficiently. The keyboard has also been widened in landscape to include additional functionality. Still no numeric key row at the top, but maybe that's a blessing considering how little actual screen space you have when the keyboard is deployed in landscape. Hopefully, Apple will be able to implement bug fixes a little more smoothly going forward than it did last week, because performance updates are definitely needed for a smoother Plus experience versus the 6. Some third-party apps take longer to load or to restore from dormant mode on the Plus, and others are just plain broken. So why do you get an iPhone 6 Plus instead of the 6? Two reasons: screen size and battery life. The bigger screen might not be used to the fullest in the interface, but just like with other underused large screens like on the Lumia 1520, for media consumption, it's definitely the better choice. It's a higher resolution panel, despite being almost a full inch larger on the diagonal. The bigger battery on the iPhone 6 Plus also makes a massive difference, nearly doubling the iPhone 6's already respectable 10 to 16 hour endurance in moderate to heavy use that we found in our test period. What about the cameras? Well, the specs on the shooters are much the same. Each has an 8 megapixel sensor with an f2.2 aperture and a 5-element lens. Even the sapphire crystal protective covers are the same. The only technical difference is that the Plus features optical image stabilization, hardware that allows the camera lens to float within its frame somewhat. The 6 doesn't. Does it pay off? Well, if it does, I don't see it. It's important to remember that the iPhone 6 already has some of the best digital stabilization we've seen, so hand tremble is already taken care of. You may be able to see the OIS in action on more violent rides like a speedboat or on a train, but we weren't able to test that in side-by-side fashion. The other area where OIS is theoretically helpful is in low-light situations where a more stable shooting platform can leave the shutter open for longer to capture more light without motion blur. But we didn't see much difference here either. That's not to say there is no benefit. Again, see our full review of each phone and our camera tests at Pocket Now for more samples. But from where I'm sitting, it's doubtful the average person could tell much of a difference here. If you're a fan of consistency, you've got to admire the job Apple's done in unifying the iPhone experience across these form factors. The Plus is, for now, the model with more growing pains on the software side, the model that's clumsier to use with one hand, the model that's $100 more expensive at every price point. but it's also the one with the slightly better camera and vastly superior battery life. It's the one to buy if you're in need of a larger format screen, or you're looking to avoid getting a separate tablet to complement your phone. For those who instead are looking for the modern-day iPhone experience in the truest sense, in my view, the conventional iPhone is the better buy. Don't forget to check out our full review of the iPhone 6, available now at Pocket Now and linked in the description below, and see all our iPhone 6 and 6 Plus coverage here on our YouTube channel page, to which you should subscribe if you haven't already. Till next time, this has been Michael Fisher, Captain Two Phones on Twitter, reminding you that a plus in one place doesn't always mean a minus in the other. We'll see you next time.